everybody, Lord Tremendous here, got another battle report here for you. Another 3,000 point battle using the Legion rules, and it's against my arch nemesis, Death Holy Death, and he's taken his Wood Elves. Of course, there's me, Lord Tremendous, using the Undead Legion, you know, humbly. But yes, Death Holy Death has a Legion of Wood Elves, or whatever. And yes, he's using them against me. So sit back, relax, and get... Well, it's brutal. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It is a pretty good game, but yeah. Get ready to watch this one. It's awesome.
Assemble the army!
Here's my list, which is more of the same. I have my Vampire Lord, Lord Tremendous, on a Zombie Dragon. He's a level 2 Wizard, Heavy Armor, Sword of Might, Enchanted Shield, Talisman of Preservation, Other Trickster Shard, Red Fury, Quick Blood, and Lore of Death. And then, of course, I still have my Lich High Priest, Queen Elizabeth, who's a level 4 Wizard with a Dispel Scroll, Seed of Rebirth, and Laura Nehekhara. My hero choices are a Tomb Prince, Dark Vincent, with a Great Weapon, Armor, Silvered Steel, and a Luckstone, and my Necrotex, Sinister Jeffrey, with the Gambler's Armor, Dragonbane Gem, and the Iron Curse icon. My core choices are a unit of 5 Direwolves, a unit of 10 Skeleton Archers with a Musician, 58 Skeleton Warriors, the Fateless, with full command light armor and shields, 14 Skeleton Archers, the Queen's Guard, with a unit champion and a banner, and 3 Chariots, Rolling Bones, with a Musician, banner, and the Banner of Eternal Flame. My special choices are a unit of 5 Hexwraiths, 3 Vargheists, 3 Medusa Stalkers, those that gaze, and a Chimerian War Sphinx with Fiery Breath. My rare choices are my Hyro Titan, Nad the Protector, a Screaming Skull Catapult of I Can't Hit Anything, and a Casket of Souls. My opponent's list, I actually got, yay! And, well, he's got a Spellweaver, the Witch Blair, who's a level 4 wizard with the Book of Asher, a Talisman of Endurance, and using the Lore of High Magic. He's got another Spellweaver, who's a level 4 wizard, on a Unicorn with a Dispel Scroll, Talisman of Preservation, and the Lore of Death. He's also got a Glade Lord with the Acorn of Ages, just he's butt naked other than that. He's got some heroes. He's got a Glade Captain with the Moonstone of the Hidden Ways, and a Waystalker with the Bow of Lauren. His core choices are 4 units of Glade Riders with Banner and Musician, 20 Glade Guard with Hagbane Tips, and then his special choices are 30, that's not a typo, 30 Deepwood Scouts with Hagbane Tips and full command, and a unit of 5 Wild Riders with full command, and a unit of 5 Wild Riders with full command and Banner of Eternal Flame. And his rare choice are 10 Waywatchers with a unit champion. Here are my spells, which are, well, what you see. And I didn't get a picture of his spells, so here's deployment. And to be perfectly honest with you, I'm going up against Wood Elves. I know they're going to avoid me. I know I'm not going to have a lot of trouble getting a hold of them. So I just spread out. I didn't know if he had scouts or anything like that. So I wanted to make sure they couldn't get behind my lines. And I just spread out and sent everything around to hopefully get a hold of his stuff. Or at least force, you know, him into being in situations where he has to let me get a hold of some of his stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, there was really no rhyme or reason. The archers went on top of the hill just because I took the level 4 out of there. Usually my level 4 is in with the unit of archers. I put him in a unit of skeleton warriors because if he charged or got into combat with that unit, then he had made a mistake. So the archers were just up there to pepper the field as best they could. My casket is behind the hill there, well protected, to hopefully just fling out its spell and kill as many elves as he can. The Vargheist and the War Kitty. I put the War Kitty in the forest just to... I knew he was going to shoot him. I knew he had poison shots. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to put the War Kitty in the forest because that extra -1 might spell the difference between, you know, winning and losing. And that was the idea. He was just going to be a bullet magnet this game. My General on the Dragon's kind of far in the back. I was a little worried about losing him right off the bat because I didn't know where I was going to put him. It was just, I know it's going to be a difficult game because there's no real solid target to target. And it's a mobile army, so, and, you know, considering most of my stuff can't march, I knew I was in trouble. But I was looking forward to it. Here's Death's right flank, which consists of a unit of Wild Riders, and I believe those are his Glade Guard or whatever in the middle of the forest there with his level 4 attached. You know, they might have been the scouts. I really can't remember. Yeah, those are his scouts because there's the Glade Guard right here in the center with his general installed, I believe. Maybe not. I can't remember for the life of me. I think maybe his general's in that unit of Glade Guard. They're right there in the middle. Behind them, those Glade Guard are not in play. We figured it out after the picture that all the Glade Guard have the ambush special rules, so those aren't in play. Ignore the Glade Guard in the back there. They're just hanging out. They're there in spirit. But that chick on the unicorn right there, she's there. And then a unit of Wild Riders in the forest, they're also there. And then his left flank, which consists of his Way Watchers, and the Way Stalker is in there as well. And I think maybe another character, I'm not 100%. Here's my right flank, which consists of my Vargeist, my War Kitty, and my unit of Chariots. And here's my center, which consists of my Skeleton units on the hill, my Casket of Souls, there's my Dire Wolves you can kind of see up top there, and my Skeleton Warriors with my Necrotech and Tomb Prince installed. And here's my left flank, which consists of my Hex Race, my Titan, my Dragon Lord, and my Catapult of Fail. Here's top of one after movement, and I gotta go first. So I did. My Hex Race and my Dragon and everything, they just kind of shoot up the left flank, trying to make it as hard as possible for him to shoot them. The Vargeist, War Kitty, and Chariots don't really move because I didn't know where to put them, to be honest with you. I figured those... I did move the Chariots up slightly so that they were 11 inches away from his Wild Riders because I wanted to be able to... Or, I'm sorry, they were 21 inches away from his Wild Riders because I wanted to be able to shoot him, and I wanted him to be a really difficult charge for him if he did decide to make it. I also wanted to force the Frenzy check because I thought if I could force them to charge, that'd be great because I get another round of shooting at him. On the left side there, the dogs went up just to give him a closer target to shoot. And everything else, I started moving up a little bit. It really wasn't a lot. During the magic phase, my caster gets the Skull Storm off, and it fires 40 inches forward off the table and blasts through, I think, 14 of his scouts. And killed like 10 of them. It was awesome. It really, really was. 14 hits, 10 wounds, and yeah, 10 scouts die. They do pass their panic check, but man, that was something else. And then over here in the shooting phase, my Chariots and my Archers that can target the Wild Riders are able to kill 2, which I'll take. You know, it's not bad. They don't have to take a panic check, though, because they're frenzied. So, with all that fun said and done, we go over here to bottom of one after movement, and there is some. His Wild Riders charged my Chariots. He needed an 11 to hit them and made it. Couldn't believe it. But that's what happens when I play Death Holy Death. The dice gods literally just, behind the back hug the entire time. It's ridiculous. Other than that, there's a ton of movement. His scouts use that weird, walk between trees thing and end up in the trees over in the center. The Glade Guard shift a little bit. The Wild Riders move out of the way, and that's pretty much it. In his scouts on the right side there, his Way Watchers, whatever, they move the front rank into the trees. There's a better picture of his Mach 4 friggin' Wild Riders slamming into my Chariots, which was just fantastic. During his magic phase, he does get Soul Quench off on my Archers, and he kills 4 of them. I let it go off because I just didn't care. And then during his shooting phase, he's able to put 4 wounds through on the Kitty just from the Way Stalkers in the forest to the right there. Arrows plus poison plus a cloud of shots. He gets 4 through on the War Kitty. There was nothing I could do. Armor piercing made it so I had a 6 up. He was way far away from the Necrotech. There was just nothing I could do. And I blame myself. I blame myself. I knew he was going to be a target. It just breaks my heart. And then there was some more shooting, and he kills 4 of my painted Archers, the Queen's Guard, who are not currently guarding the Queen. But yeah, 4 of them die to Archers, and that's awesome. And then another volley of shots takes out the War Kitty. And that's messed up. Really breaks my heart when a War Kitty dies. Then over here in combat, the 3 Wild Riders were able to just devastate my Chariots. I did take 1 Chariot out before combat res finished him off, but it is what it is. He made the charge and he earned that one, so I can't fault him for it, even though I despise him for it. I don't really despise him for it. Here's top of 2 after movement, and there's a little bit. My Hex Race go around there a little bit the best they can just to try to put a little pressure on them and stuff like that. My Dragon comes up because it's either you're going to kill me or I'm going to charge you and kill you. Either way, someone's getting killed next turn. The Titan, the Archers, the Warriors, everything moves up that they can, and my Vargeists, not to be outdone by the damn Wild Riders, needing a 10, charge his Waystalkers in the forest. I think they take 1 or 2 wounds because they stand and shoot, but I make my charge. And they pass their dangerous terrain check, just in case you were wondering. There's a better picture of the Vargeist slamming into his Waystalkers. They did take 2 wounds going in, but they made it, so there's a chance. And over here, during the magic phase, I get the 5-up bubble ward off from my level 4 that's in the Skeleton Warriors, just to give my guys some chance there and to bring back a few Skeleton Warriors. I did miss the unpainted Tomb Guard proxy, but it is what it is. I did get bubble ward everywhere else, so at least it gives me a chance to deal with it. It was Irresistible Force, however, and I miscast 3.
You must not read from the book!
Yeah. So we placed the huge, nasty template over my caster. Of all the times she could miscast 3, she does it when she's inside the unit of Skeleton Warriors. Damn it! And after we're done rolling everything, I lose. She survives at least, so that's something. But I lose a ton of, what is that, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 skeletons, and she takes a wound, so 14 wounds are done. That's a lot of damage for a 5-up ward save, but I can bring them back, so I guess there is still hope, but man, does that suck. And then over here, my Pew Pew from the remaining archers does a little bit of damage to the one remaining Wild Rider, but there's still a remaining Wild Rider, so I need to resurrect some Elven archers if I keep this up. It's really frustrating. Then over here in combat, the Vargeist do pretty well. I put a bunch of attacks through. I kill three of them, and I lose 3. But with my charge, I win by 1, and he rolls boxcars. And they fled 5 inches, and I pursued 4. So they got away. But the Vargeists are right on their butts now, so that's actually pretty cool. And the Waystalkers are hopefully on their way out, because you better believe I'm charging them again next turn. So we go over here to bottom of 2 after movement, and the most significant part is the Waystalkers don't rally. They ended up rolling like an 11 or 12 again, and then they rolled like 10 inches off the table. So that was awesome. All those points, mine! Meanwhile, his unit of scouts with the orb of walk between forests and stuff like that goes off, and he fires off into the forest right behind the Vargeists. Guess what's going to happen there? And all 4 of his ambushing Glade Guard come onto the table. All 4. He rolls 4 dice and he doesn't roll lower than a 4. It's insane. So all 4 come onto the table and they all are behind my ranks now. You can see them. It's absolutely ridiculous. But can't fault the guy for making best out of a bad situation, because the funny part is neither of us knew that they had the ambush rule until we were doing the deployment pictures, and somebody's like, why are your Glade Guard already on the table? They have ambush. And we were like, what? And they were like, yeah! And I was like, no way! And then we were like, dude, totally. And so, yeah, this is how it ended up working out for him, though. So I'm not really sure if it was good. I don't know. It broke my heart, I can tell you that much. But his Wild Riders run over to the left flank of my Dragon. His Glade Guard just accept the fact they're going to be charged by a Dragon. And everything else is just giggles. All of his Glade Guard come in the back there. One gears up to charge the catapult. The other ones get ready to charge the back of the archers. The other 2 get to look at charging the archers on the hill. The Wild Rider gets ready to charge my casket, and I'm out of luck. During his shooting phase, his magic phase I'm able to dispel, but his shooting phase, his archers fire at my dragon, put 1 on my general and 2 on the dragon, which is fantastic. And then the scouts are able to take out the 2 Vargeists, and that's not a surprise at all. Then, of course, with the Glade Guard everywhere, they take out a couple of my painted skeletons and one of the proxy Tomb Guard archers. What can you do? And since there's no combat, because Wood Elves don't fight, we go to top of 3 after movement, and I get what I can. My stalkers come on the table, and they go behind his unicorn because I want to try to kill her because she's a Lore of Death psychopath. My Hex Race march through his Wild Riders that were flanking my dragon and kill them, which is out friggin' standing. My dragon slams into the Glade Guard that stand and shoot, and I think they do another wound to the dragon, but I make it, and they're screwed. They did pass their terror check, in case you were wondering. And my Skeleton Warriors, I reform them to face behind them because I know where the Chargers are coming next turn, and I want to try to get as many of the Glade Guard as I can. The rest of my archers try to, the painted ones, they try to do a swift reform and fail. The other unpainted archers, they just stay right where they're at because we know what's coming. And my Titan turns in such a way that maybe it can charge the Glade Guard next turn. That was the hope anyway. We'll see what happens. There's a better picture of my zombie dragon lord slamming into the Glade Guard, and I feel pretty good about that. And there's a better picture of my Hex Race walking through the Wild Riders and killing them, which is also awesome. During the shooting phase, my catapult, although despite its best efforts to try to miss, is able to hit, I think, 3 of his scouts. I do 1 wound, and they pass their panic check, so that was disappointing. That would have been better if they had fled, or if I had direct hit, or even come close to hitting that huge brick of them. No, my catapult. Me and the catapult are starting to see that maybe the catapult needs some alone time on a shelf. It really frustrates me that it only does something every 5 games. It's starting to get on my nerves. Then over here in the shooting phase, my 5 remaining skeleton archers that are, well, the Tomb Guard proxies, they shoot at the Glade Guard on the right there and kill 1, which is better than none. And, my stalkers, they did so good. They fired off a whole bunch of shots at the unicorn, and I think I wounded like 4 or 5 times, but he saved all but 2, so she's still alive, which drives me a little crazy, I won't lie to you, but it is what it is. Then over here in combat, his general issues a challenge. I accept. He's able to put a wound through on my dragon. I'm able to curb stomp him into the ground. I win this combat by a truckload, but it doesn't matter because they're steadfast. And they break, and they get run the F down. Yeah, the Glade Guard are dead. His general's dead, but now my dragon is exposed. I was not expecting that. I was hoping that my dragon would, get exactly that. Get in the combat. This unit would be steadfast. They'd stay, and then next turn, I could break them, and then, hopefully send my dragon into something else and kill some stuff, but not meant to be. And now my dragon is wide open, and guess where his scouts are going to go? So, here's bottom of 3 after movement, and yeah. For the most part, there's not a ton of movement other than charges. His 2 units of Glade Guard on my right flank there charge into the Skeleton Archers. His Wild Rider slams into my Casket. The other unit of Glade Riders charge into the front of my Skeleton Warriors. And his last one charges into my Catapult. The scouts that he have just kind of turn around and face the dragon because there's no reason to do anything else. And his Unicorn runs over to start Lore of Deathing my General because why wouldn't he? There's a better picture of his Glade Guard slamming into the Catapult. And there's a better picture of his Glade Guard slamming into my Archers and his Wild Rider slamming into my Casket. During the magic phase, he gets Spirit Leech off on my General, and it works. And, of course, my General takes a wound, which is just fantastic. And then over here, he gets Hand of Glory off on these guys. And what could I do? I was trying to stop other things, so he was going to get something off. He did get Hand of Glory off Irresistible, and he miscast 6, which is kind of nice. But in the end, that little, the lore attribute they get for high magic soaks up a lot of damage, and I think like 1 guy dies. No, 1 guy dies, and the caster takes a wound, but he's able to stop all the other wounds with those little turn count, or the little counters that he has for the high magic lore attribute, which, okay, it is what it is. Then, since he only lost 1 power die from the miscast, because, well, Kane protects, I guess, he gets Fiery Convocation off on my dogs and kills all but 1, which I thought was kind of cool. Then during his shooting phase, yeah, he kills my Vampire Lord on a dragon. It was just a shooting. What could you do? Yeah, and I know it's strength 3 shooting. I know I had a 2-up armor save that went to a 3-up because it was armor piercing. Wound got through. I had a 3-up, 4-up, and the wound got through. Killed my vampire lord, and then the rest of the shots killed my dragon. There was nothing I could do. I tried. I tried. Best laid plans and all. What can you do? Then over here in combat, yeah, shocker. The Glade Guard are able to kill my archers, and then they overrun. As you can see, there's a nice little overrun over there. I think I was able to kill 1 or 2 of the Glade Guard in my return attacks, but combat res I crumbled, and of course they overran into the next unit of skeletons, which was a little bit of poopy, but expected. And of course their combined attacks just vaporize the whole unit. I don't do anything back. Then over here in combat, they kill my catapult, and I'm perfectly fine with that. That friggin' thing hasn't done anything in 3 games. And then over here, the Wild Rider's able to easily dispatch my casket, which that actually breaks my heart a little bit. It really does. I was really hoping that I'd be able to attack back and kill off the Wild Rider and have my casket, but nope, wasn't meant to be. Easily took out the 2 guards and the Prophet without any hesitation, and my casket exploded, which was just friggin' fantastic. There's the explosion. I kill the Wild Rider. I kill 1 of the unit of Glade Riders, and that's pretty much it. Everything else just doesn't get affected by it at all. So we go over here to top of 4 after movement, and my skeleton warriors could see, so they charge. They got a hold of the Glade Riders, and that was enough for me. I didn't kill all the Glade Riders. I'm sorry. The unit on the far end of the hill there, they had 1 left, and the other unit was fine. But I could see the far unit, so I charged them and made it, which was good. And then my Titan charged a unit of Glade Riders that had killed my catapult and got a hold of him, so that felt pretty good. Meanwhile, my stalkers just reformed to turn and face the scouts because I had nowhere else to go with them. There was nothing I could do. I can't march. My general's dead, so screwed there in every way, shape, and form. My hex rays start moving a little bit, but there was really nowhere for them to go, and so yeah, I just did the best I could with what I had. There's a better picture of my Titan slamming into the Glade Guard, and I'm hoping to kill them and get 12 points. And there's a better picture of my Skeleton Warriors charging into these guys, and same thing, I'm just trying to kill as many of these things as I can. My magic phase doesn't do anything, my shooting phase is non-existent, so we go straight into combat, and I flub. I flub spectacularly, and so does he, though. So I charge to his banner, he has a musician, and he wins combat by 1, but I'm an arcane construct and couldn't care less. Then over here in combat, my warriors are able to kill the big unit of Glade Guard, destroy him, overrun into the remaining Glade Guard, and capture him. He does pass his panic check. And then we go over here to bottom of 4 after movement, and well, they're elves. There's a lot of movement. His scouts run over, do the walk between forest thing, and get into the forest right next to my hex race, which spells the end for them. His unicorn runs over to start Lore of Deathing my stalkers to death, and his other unit Glade Guard fail their march block check and move right where you see him, in the middle there. During the magic phase, he gets Spirit Leech off on my stalkers, and of course kills 1 outright because, well, yes. And then he soul quenches my hex race, killing all but 1 because whatever. Then he does the Caress of Lanif on the stalkers, gets that off because, for every wound he does, he's rolling 5s and 6s to replenish his power dice. And, FML, what can you do? So he kills another stalker. And then during the shooting phase, his enchanted arrows take out the last hex wraith because, yes. During the combat phase, my Skeleton Warriors are able to finish off the final Glade Rider, and then they turn to face the Glade Riders that are next to him, because the hope is to charge and catch them. I know they're going to flee. And then over here, the Titan finally gets his hands on some of the Elves and crushes 2, and wins combat by 1, I think. 1 plus or 2 wounds to a banner. I win by 1. They break, and they run off the table. The Titan chases after them, does not catch them, but they're gone now, and so that was something. So we go over here to top of 5 after movement, and my Skeleton Warriors do charge as Glade Riders, which of course flee. The Stalker turns around to face the Unicorn and hopefully, Care Bear stare it off the table. The dog stays right where he's at because I'm just waiting for him to die, and the Titan moves 6 inches towards the middle to do whatever he can. My magic phase is completely shut down. Or I'm sorry, there's a better picture of the Skeleton Warriors charging the fleeing Glade Riders. My magic phase is completely shut down, so we go into shooting phase, and my stalker shoots at the, what's it called, unicorn, and of course misfires, because things are going so well. But yeah, I misfire, and I take a wound for my trouble because, well, there is no hope. So, with all the morale I can muster, we go to bottom of 5 after movement. The Glade Riders, of course, rally and then run over to the flank of my warriors just because. His unicorn moves out of the way of my stalker. His scouts stay right where they are in the forest because there's no reason to move. I don't know if it was magic or shooting. I think it was magic. He kills my stalker, and that was to be expected. He had his chance to be somebody, and he failed. And then all of his scouts shoot at my dog, and he does 1 wound. Only 1 wound, so yeah. The dog dies a horrible death. So we go here to top of 6 after movement, and there's none. My Titan moves over so that he can possibly Shem's Burning Gaze the Glade Riders, but I didn't have a whole lot of hope for that one. And the Skeleton Warriors, knowing that they're going to be outmaneuvered, just kind of hang tight. During the magic phase, I get Shem's Burning Gaze off. I'm not sure. I try to get Shem's Burning Gaze off. I roll 6 dice at it, and of course, it's not irresistible. And he dispels it. I get Spirit Leech off on him, and I'm able to do 1 wound. So that was something, I guess. So we go to bottom of 6, and his scout unit flies over to the forest in the back right there, and they're just going to try to shoot at whatever it is they're going to shoot at. The unicorn moves up, and the Glade Guards stay right where they're at. Combined magic. I think it was Spirit Leech again. He's able to zap my Titan pretty good, and then with the shooting and everything like that, he finishes off the Titan. And there you go. There's the end of the game. And it was bloody. It was a lot bloodier than I thought it was going to be. But in the end, I just couldn't do anything. I have my Necrotech, my Prince, and my Skeleton Warriors alive. He's got Glade Guard. His Spellweavers are alive, and his Scouts are alive. So what can you do? He outplayed me, plain simple and to the point. I did have a few opportunities to do something, and the dice gods and luck and piss poor planning on my part just kind of, ate my lunch on that one. But it was a closer game than I thought it was going to be. There's definitely a handful of dead elves on the table, and that's good because I'm going to need some new recruits. That's for damn sure. But you know what? We'll get to the recap in a minute because right now it's time for a quick timeout. Banners, banners, banners. Get you some banners. Look at the banners. You are never going to be able to get better banners than this. There is no company, there is no talent scout, there is no entity on the planet that's going to get you banners better than this. Custom banners for your custom army. You want better paint scores. You want that little edge that makes your army better than the guy next to you. Sick of running, going to tournaments and getting that paint score that's just a few points lower than the guy that literally sneezes on his army. And you can't figure out why? Get these banners and make your army really pop, really stand out. Send this guy an email, tell him what you want, and get yourself some banners. It's totally worth it. Alright guys and gals, there it is. Token Gal is back, and she's back in full operation mode of making tokens. So if you missed out before she went and got married and became Mrs. Token Gal, or however that works, this is your chance. Get your tokens now. Send her an email. Send her your monies. Get yourself some tokens. They're dirt cheap, solid gold quality. You're not going to be disappointed. Tell her Tremendous sent you. She'll probably know. But yeah, get these tokens. They're so much better than just using dice. They're so much easier to remember everything. You don't have to worry about your cards getting lost, stolen, ripped, torn, whatever. And, they're glass beads, cool high-def pictures. Totally worth it. Get yourself some tokens. You won't regret it. and Unleashed Wargaming's painting services is back, guys. I took it down for a little bit while I redid the ad and added some of his newer pictures, but as you can see, he does amazing work. He's based out of the US. He does solid, quality work to all armies. I mean, you saw the pictures, you've seen the quality, you've seen the vibrant colors and the attention to detail and everything. I mean, that banner is free-handed. I mean, how are you not going to like something like that? So if you're like me and you hate painting, but you don't have an awesome wife to do all your painting for you, give this guy an email, talk to him about what you need, and he's going to knock it out for you. You're not going to be disappointed. You're not going to be embarrassed when you play your army at, your local store, at GTs, or local GTs at your store, or however the heck you want to play. You'll have a painted army. It's going to be a beautifully painted army to your specifications. How can you go wrong? Send him an email, get your army painted, and quit embarrassing yourself. Tell him Tremendous sent you. So yeah, in the end, I got beat down pretty good. It wasn't a massacre, but it was damn close. I ended up getting 1760 out of him, and he ended up getting 2607 out of me. So bloody, bloody game. What can you do? And it's Death Holy Death. He is my kryptonite. I could face any other version of Elf from any other general and hold my own. I play Death Holy Death, and I can't figure it out. Like the stars align, and things just don't work out for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I make some pretty piss poor decisions and he capitalizes on them on the regular. He's a better player than I am, but it's just like I sit down across the table from him and it's just like, how bad can I, or how much can I mitigate the beat down I'm about to receive? I ended up losing my Vampire Lord, my High Lich Priest. I think that was with Spirit Leech. He ended up doing that in the last round there. Direwolves, all the archers, the chariots, the stalkers, the war sphinx, the titan, the catapult, the casket, the vargeist, and the hex race. He ended up losing his glade lord, his way stalkers, 3 units of glade riders, his glade guard, his way watchers, and both unit of wild riders. So I definitely did take a chunk out of him, but he just had his 2 out of his 3 lords still alive, and his huge unit of scouts, and the little unit of glade guard that would have helped. But what can you do? But Death is hard to beat no matter what flavor elf he's currently playing. I mean, honestly, I wish I was as good as he was. Oh, it breaks my heart that he killed my War Sphinx so easily. I knew it was going to happen. I left him out there to be a target, but I was hoping he would last a little bit longer, I guess. I knew he was going to die. It's just one of those things. He's my favorite model, so it's like, oh, not the kitty. And then my Vampire Lord getting taken down by the scout shooting. I was really hoping that when I got into the Glade Guard, they would last for a little bit, and then hopefully, I could kill those guys, or at least break them during his turn, and then I could, reposition my Vampire Lord in such a way that I could get gotten a charge off on his scouts or his unicorn or anything other than how it happened. So that was a shame. That was a damn shame. But it is what it is. I should have gotten that unicorn chick. The stalker had his chance. I just kind of rolled it just to see, what would have happened. And in all fairness, I only did 1 wound, and Death did ward save it because she had the 4-up Talisman of Preservation. But it was just, the dice gods. And it is what it is. What can you do? And then all 4 of his ambushing units showing up on the same turn. I'm pretty sure that he sacrificed goats or something like that to the dice gods before every one of our games. He's got to. He's doing something. He's doing something supernatural. He's made a deal with the devil. I'm not really sure, but, maybe he just talked to Zinch. There's something going on there, though. That's not natural. It's just not natural. But even though I got beat, I still took a lot of elves with me, and at this point, it's all about body count, so I feel pretty good about it. Even though I got tremendously beat, I don't mind saying it that way, I still feel like I did pretty good. I took down a lot of the wood elves, and I take some solace in that. But you know what? This was still a damn good game, and Death, it's always going to be a tough game. It doesn't matter. He could be playing a unit of 1,000,000 Noblars, and I would still have trouble facing him. I would. I think he's either in my head, or he's got my number, or he's just better at the damn game than I am, and I can deal with all that. It's just, friggin' elves. I hate them. But I'm definitely looking forward to the rematch, so there is that. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Battle Report number 173. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. But yeah, guys, thanks.